Hello, I'm Randy McClure. Welcome to the latest supply chain tech brief.
All right, let's talk about AI in the supply chain. You hear the hype everywhere, right? But today we're cutting through all that. We're going to give you a real practical toolkit that you can actually use. So let's jump right in. If you've ever spent any time in logistics or operations, this probably hits close to home. It really is this massive, tangled web, isn't it? Just moving parts, endless data, constant change. It can get pretty overwhelming fast. And now you've got all these AI solutions popping up left and right. So how do you know what's actually useful and what's just, more noise? Well, that's what we're here for. In this explainer, we are going to untangle that web. We'll break down exactly what these tools are, and more importantly, what they actually do. Okay, so first things first, AI is not some brand new thing. I mean, it's been kicking around in labs for decades. So why is it exploding now? Well, it really comes down to a perfect storm of three things: absolutely massive computing power, super high speed internet, and data storage that's gotten incredibly cheap. Those three things, they're what turned AI from a cool theory into a real world practical toolkit for business. And you can really see that journey laid out here. It all started way back with mathematical theories and some cool novelty automation. Then, boom, the 50s hit and we get digital computers. Fast forward to the 80s and 90s, we had these expert systems trying their best to copy what human experts knew. But the real game changer, that was deep learning in the 2000s. And that brings us to today, where things have just exploded. We're talking large language models, advanced robotics, the whole shebang. Which, yeah, brings us right to today. And Mark Cuban really nails it here. He says, if you don't get AI, you better learn it or you're going to be a dinosaur. Seriously, understanding these tools isn't just a nice to have anymore, it's absolutely essential. So, with that in mind, let's open up the toolkit and see what's inside. We'll start with our first set of tools. All right, first up in our toolkit is a whole category of tools built for one thing: prediction. This is all about using AI to look at what's already happened so you can get a crystal clear view of what's coming next. The goal here, to stop reacting to problems and start getting ahead of them. So here's the magic behind AI-powered forecasting. It can spot patterns in these huge, messy data sets that older software would just completely miss. I mean, it looks at everything: past sales, sure, but also things like weather patterns, social media trends, you name it. And it's always learning, always getting smarter. What does that mean for you? It means you can forecast customer demand with way more accuracy, and you can tweak your production and inventory levels before a problem even has a chance to show up. Now, it's interesting because all this modern AI that's all about learning, it's actually built on the shoulders of an older kind of AI that was all about rules. We're talking about expert systems. Think of them like a digital rulebook. They followed a very strict if this, then that kind of logic. Super important step in the journey, for sure. But they're static. They can't learn or adapt on their own. And that's exactly why they've mostly been replaced by machine learning. See, instead of being hand fed a bunch of rules, ML algorithms learn for themselves directly from the data you give them. And this thing is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to optimization. For instance, it can look at live traffic data and instantly figure out the fastest delivery routes, or it can automate your entire inventory management system. It can even spot those tiny, weird patterns in transactions that might signal fraud. Okay, so we can predict what's coming. Great. But what's the next step? Well, you have to actually do something about it, right? And that brings us to our second category of tools: action. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's where AI takes all that intelligence and starts putting it to work, both in the real physical world and in the digital one. And autonomous AI really covers a lot of ground here. On one hand, you've got the physical stuff, like intelligent robots buzzing around the warehouse floor, picking and packing items, working right alongside human teams to make everything faster and more efficient. But then you've also got the digital side: AI agents that can chew through mountains of data and basically act as a super-powered assistant for your professional teams, handling all the really complex analytical heavy lifting. AI is also getting incredibly good at language, and we're seeing that pop up in two really cool ways. First, you've got generative AI. This is the stuff that can create brand new content. Imagine taking a boring old safety manual and having an AI instantly turn it into an engaging training video. Pretty cool, right? And second, we have virtual assistants. They understand natural language. So a worker in a warehouse can just ask, hey, where's item X? And get an immediate hands-free answer. Game changer. Next up, we have computer vision. And a great way to think about this is that it's literally the eyes of your supply chain. It uses cameras hooked up to a smart AI to see and understand the world around it. So, what can it do? Well, it can automatically scan and measure parcels whizzing by on a conveyor belt. It can tell you in real time exactly how full your storage areas are. It can even help a human worker during the picking process, highlighting the right item to make sure errors just don't happen. It's all about turning what it sees into something you can do. All right, this brings us to our third and final toolkit, and it's a big one, decisions. So we've covered predicting the future and taking action. Now we're talking about where AI moves up the food chain to actively helping you make smarter, faster, and way more strategic choices for the business. And this slide right here really shows a massive leap forward. Think about it. Most of the analytics we're used to are descriptive. They just tell you what already happened. That's useful, but prescriptive AI, it tells you what you should do about it. It's the difference between looking at a weather report that says there's a huge storm ahead and your GPS saying, okay, big storm, I'm automatically rerouting you this way to avoid it. See the difference? It's huge. So what does that look like in the real world? Let's say a major port suddenly closes down. A prescriptive analytics system won't just send you an alert that says, hey, you've got a problem. No, it will immediately recommend the best alternate routes, calculate the cost and time impact, and basically hand you a ready to go action plan. Or think about e-commerce. It's that smart engine that suggests other products a customer might like, actively guiding their buying decisions. And that brings us to our final tool, decision platforms. This is really where everything we've talked about comes together. These are massive systems that pull in data from literally every corner of your organization, giving your leaders a complete real-time picture of what's going on. Honestly, don't even think of it as a tool. Think of it more like a strategic co-pilot for your entire business. A co-pilot that not only helps make decisions, but also remembers what happened last time, learns from it, and can even start to automate entire decision-making workflows. So there you have it, 9 incredibly powerful AI tools, all neatly organized into 3 buckets: prediction, action, and decision. From seeing what's coming around the corner to making those high-level strategic calls, this is the toolkit. This is how you can finally start to untangle that messy, complex supply chain web. So the question at the end of the day isn't really if AI can help you. We know it can. The real question is, how are you going to use it? So I'll leave you with this. Think about your biggest, most frustrating challenge right now. That one tangled knot in your supply chain that keeps you up at night. Now, looking at this toolkit, which one of these tools are you going to pick up and use to untangle it first?
Hello, this is Raina McClure from SC Tech Insights. Thank you for listening. For more on this topic, click the article link below or go to www.sctechinsights.com for the latest insights on supply chain technology. Thank you and see you next time.